Hello everyone, you're watching Gambian Talents TV live and direct, and we're here at the magistrate court here in Kanifing just to hear from the legal practitioners' part as we are investigating real estate issues, land issues in the Gambia. Right now we are sitting here with one of the magistrates, and as we go on, as we chat, as we talk more issues, as we deal with more issues, discuss more issues concerning land issues, we will come to learn more from him, as well as we will hear from the side of the legal practitioners. Hence, so much allegations are being said when it comes to legal practitioners. So we will hear from him as time goes on. I will not do anything, just to give him the mic and he introduce himself, and then we go in detail. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, how are you?
Fine, thank you. And you?
I'm very good as well.
What's your name, please?
I'm called His Worship Sillah.
His Worship Sillah.
Yes, but my name is Adama Sillah.
Your name is Adama Sillah.
Magistrate, barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court of the Gambia.
Wow, that's interesting. Adama, we've been receiving different complaints when it comes to land issues in the Gambia, and then those practicing legal practitioners also are being accused of different accusations. So as a media house, we don't just jump to conclusion, but rather we verify our information. So before we go in detail, can you tell us how often do you have land cases?
Well, precisely, land cases will depend on the jurisdiction that a magistrate will preside over. For instance, within the Birkama area, land issues usually come quite often and very frequently, unlike here in Kanifing. So also in the other parts of the country, for instance around the Brusubi area as well, the Brusubi Tribunal also sits over land cases. We also here in Kanifing, I sit over land cases, but they are more of rent, but not nothing to do with title or ownership or possession. Most of them are rent cases that I deal with here.
So where does your jurisdiction stop?
My jurisdiction throughout the KMC. My jurisdiction is throughout the KMC. Yes, it stops at let's say the Denton Bridge.
The Denton Bridge.
Of course, because I'm from the Denton Bridge to the other side. That is Banjul.
Okay.
That is BMC, the Banjul Magistrates Court, that have jurisdiction over those cases that are within those areas. But normally, there are usually no problems within the Banjul area and within the Kanifing area, because the land or the area of land within these territories have been delineated and they've been registered in the government cadastre of land. Yes, so this is why there is no much problem. Yes.
So is it that you never receive a land case concerning real estates and individuals?
Of course, I have presided over multifarious of land cases, but they don't. It doesn't have to do with title. Most of them. Okay. Most of them have to do with possession or repossession. Okay. Yes, this is it. Because when it comes to title of land, it is the High Court that have jurisdiction entirely. It has exclusive jurisdiction to preside over title to land or title to property.
So how many land dispute cases did you settle in 2018?
In 2018, I've settled almost about 23 to 24 land cases. Wow. But most of them have to do with repossession. Wherever an issue of title comes into place, of course, sometimes what I do is to refer the parties to the High Court. Yes, I will refer the parties to the High Court. If it is simple possession, I can adjudicate over the possession cases, give possession to whoever or a party that is entitled to it, and then the issues of ownership, of course, I redirect to the High Court, which have the jurisdiction to preside over title to land cases.
A report reaching us has it that you often side with real estate agencies to delay land dispute cases filed by their customers. In other words, real estate agents often bribe you in order to side with them. What's your take on that?
I don't understand that question.
Like rumors reaching us has it that real estate agencies do bribe you.
Bribe who?
Bribe the legal practitioners in order to side with them when they have land issues.
Well, I wouldn't comment much onto that, because I cannot say issues of bribery are very grave, definitely, and bribery is not on one angle; it's from two angles. Both the receiver and the giver, of course, are culpable. But what I can tell you is that I'm a judicial officer. We are judicial officers as magistrates. Our duty is to the courts and no other person. Our duty is only to the courts and to the cause of justice. Yes, probably when you have an interview with other private legal practitioners, you can ask them on that angle. But as magistrates, we are expected to be persons of integrity. Honesty and integrity is the overriding principle, or is the principle that we adjudicate our cases upon. So I don't think that magistrates could be bribed for land cases, or in order for a party to, have an upper hand in a land case. I don't think so, because what happens is that whenever a magistrate gives a decision, such decision is appealable, and no magistrate will want his or her decisions to be overturned. Every magistrate wants to be an oracle. An oracle meaning, whenever you give a decision, you want it to be firm. Even on appeal, it should be affirmed that this is the position of the law. So I don't think that any person of integrity and honesty, or a person or legal practitioner with high standards, will do such a thing. Because normally, all legal practitioners are governed by the Code of Ethics, which is embedded in the Legal Practitioners Act, and we also have a Code of Ethics for legal practitioners. So we are also bounded by those rules and principles. Yes.
So, what is the typical time frame to make a judgment or to close a land case dispute?
Well, according to the Constitution, the 1997 Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia, which is still in force, Section 24 of it has provided, it has multifarious of subsections, but in its subsections it has provided that wherever a judgment or wherever a case is before an adjudicatory body, it must be concluded within 3 months, or it must be concluded within a reasonable time. A reasonable time depends on the time and the circumstances of each case. But the Constitution says 3 months. So we are expected to preside over land cases within 3 months and give our decisions in order to expedite cases and not to delay justice as well.
So we've seen that land cases it is getting rampant in the country.
Yeah.
So what do you think can be the solution to Gambia land problem?
Well, it's a very, very difficult question to answer, my lady. But I will tell you that first of all, before we solve the problem of land, we must know the type of land regimes that we have in this country. Yes, we must first know the type of land regimes that we have. We have 4 different types of land ownership forms or land regimes. Let's say we have the deemed lease, we have the leasehold, we have the freehold, we also have the customary land. So all of these need to be in place first before one could be able to say that he or she can dwell into the issues of solving the problem. What I can tell you is that first, like I said earlier in my utterances, land within the Brikama area or within the Brikama jurisdiction, land is always a problem. And Brikama stretch is a very large jurisdiction. It stretches up to Sanyang and Gunjur, Kiti, and all those areas where real estate property owners have already held vast portions of land, and they are selling at their own prices. The main problem is because most of those land are customary land. Yes, they are customary land. This is the problem. Leasehold and freehold properties are not problems, because those ones have gone through processes and they have been registered, yes, in the government cadastre and in the lots of yard owners. Yes, so this is the that is the problem. Now these customary land, which you know that are not registered, or which usually take the form of, or which are transferred or assigned through customary means, are the problem of this country. What the government need to do is to set up, let's say, what the government needs to do is to set up a registration form or a registration process in which most of these customary lands will be given lot numbers and then they will be registered. Like most of the land in Banjul have been done. They have been lotted, meaning they've been delineated, given lot numbers, and then they are registered in the government, in the lots of yard owners. Yes, so there's what we call the government, the cadastre. this is what sets out most of the land that we have within our jurisdiction, and it has marked and delineated certain portions which are deemed leases and those which are leased properties. Like I said, these properties are not problems. The only problems are the freehold and the customary land. So I think government really needs to work hand in glove with the local authorities and with the local municipalities, that's the relevant local area council. Government needs to work with them so that they can have a form of a registration process in which customary land will be registered, or in which customary land will be delineated, and then their holders or their owners can be identified. Most of the problems that we have are reselling land, meaning selling and reselling to another person. Yes, these are the problems that we encounter. You will realize that most of the cases that come before us, I'm just saying this out of but most of the cases that come before us, you will realize that because probably the alcalo have sold a portion of the property to one person and have sold the same property to another person. And then the most painful part of it is that all those alcalos usually they have impunity, I would say, because most of them cannot be held culpable. When the issue goes to the police will say it's a civil case, and they will refer the parties to the court. I feel that the police duty is not only to curb crime. The police have an equal duty also to protect citizens and their properties. Yes, certain of these cases, I think the police also need, and the law enforcement officers, they also need to come on board. They need to play a role in order to curtail the issues of land problems within this country. Yes. For instance, let's say an alcalo sells a land to a person and sells to another person. One of the parties goes to the police to report. Police listens to your complaint, and then they will redirect you and tell you it's a civil case, go to court. The work is not done. It's just like you're reverting all the problems back to the court. The courts are usually inundated with cases.